Needless to say, my inspiration, along with this community here, is to turn Sofia into a sizable hub for innovation as well. The more you try, the more likely you are to succeed next time. So we've been trying to instill that ethos of trial and error in the tech community in Bulgaria as well. Now we're reaching the stage of product startups, which is fantastic. That's where the unicorns are going to come from. Now, to move to the next stage and become even better and more successful at that, we need to invest in education. This is the big game of modern society. You can create part of the human capital yourself, but inevitably you'll need to import some of that human capital. Now, why would smart people come to Bulgaria? It took a while, but once I made the decision to stop venture capital and move into politics, I have been enlightened with a feeling of clarity that I haven't felt for a long time. You have felt the beginning of what we felt. You felt that anger, that things are going wrong. In our tech community, we tend to look the other way because we have the luxury to look the other way. The tech community is export focused. Our business is worldwide. We have very little attachment to all the issues that are happening here. Our problems are mostly communal. You know, the garbage is not taken care of, the sidewalks are cranky, the administration is still paper-based. These are minor problems. We are not really experiencing the problems of the common people all around us. And that has given us the luxury to look the other way for way too long.
We stay in our bubble, right?
We stay in our beautiful bubble and we think that things will sort out themselves. I was in that bubble, my colleagues in the team were in that bubble, and it's a very comfortable bubble to be in. However, after a long period where nobody else picks up the shovel and starts cleaning up, the moment when the opportunity arrives for you to do it and the calling is there, we asked ourselves, how are we going to look at ourselves in the mirror 20 years from now? We had a chance that we didn't take, or we had a chance and we did our best with it. It wasn't easy, but once we made that decision, the feeling was fantastic.
So it was a calling of conscience, in a way.
Absolutely. It was a calling of conscience after seeing so much damage being done that we just couldn't make any other choice, literally. We are actually in a rich country. It's not a political statement, it's a fact. Financially, Bulgaria has a lot of money. It's just leaking out of the system through all kinds of holes, big and small, into each and every component of our society. And we thought if we can stop the leakages, if we can stop corruption in a concentrated and synchronized effort across all ministries and the parliament along with it, this place will be radically different in 4 years from now. Policy making and politics are a very different thing to a company, and they require a lot of empathy to understand the feelings of people around you. You need to feel what the community feels and being able to respond to it, actually. That's probably the biggest asset for a political person these days. If you can relate to the public, they will feel back and respond. In my case, I think it's 100% credit to my wife, who taught me how to empathize with other people and understand what motivates them, what drives them, what's their fear. We are not dependent on corruption that has been happening in the system for a very long time, which is associated with politicians in general and their history in the country. And that gives us a certain degree of freedom to operate. I think people feel that, and that's their biggest hope.
Do you think you can run a country as a startup? Sorry for the provocative question, but...
Country is not a startup, and you cannot run it as a startup.
In the next episode of the Recursive podcast, we welcome seasoned entrepreneur and investor who is now running for the Bulgarian Parliament, Daniel Lorer. And if you are just as passionate about innovation as we are, hit subscribe for the Recursive podcast on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. We're everywhere.